Hi, just a quick reminder that Lockdown Licks is completely free and it always will be. And also, feel free to share these videos around anywhere you like. I'm very happy for you to copy and paste the links and put them pretty much anywhere within reason. Final one for today is an interesting question from Kevin Charles, and it's on the subject of performance anxiety. And I don't care who you are, whether you've been in the industry for 40 or 50 years, or if you've been only performing for a year, whether you're an amateur, a professional, whatever your status, there is not one of us who hasn't experienced some sort of performance anxiety at one time or another. And I tend to deal with it in a number of different ways. And what I do, most importantly, before a show, whether that's a live performance or even a rehearsal or a recording session, I try to stay very quiet and quieten my mind and keep the internal chatter down to a minimum and just chill out uh, on my own usually, and just really get into a positive space. And that space that I try to occupy is something that I've developed over a number of years. I've been a performing musician since 1977, and during those years there have been a number of occasions when I've played absolutely at the top of my game. Couldn't have done anything any better and was totally exhilarated by what I'd done. If I'm honest, in those 43 years, those occasions probably barely make it into double figures. But I remember all of them very vividly. And one of the things I try to do before playing is kind of remember how it felt. There was a show in just outside Tokyo once. There was a show in Cleo Lane's back garden one time. There was one in Holland, one in Worthing on the south coast. And just remembering the feeling of, as I say, exhilaration and positivity at those times, and trying to get back into that space when it comes time to play, and just really sets you up for a very positive performing experience. And also, it's important to remember that everybody who's with you on the stage and in the audience, they all want you to do your best. Everybody wants you to play at the top of your game. If you've got people in your band who wish you anything other than that, or wish you, to fail in your playing, then they're probably not the kind of people you should be working with. Also, another important thing that I try not to do is self-medicate. I have yet to come across a drummer in all of my years who played better when they'd been drinking. I know some players do like just maybe one alcoholic drink a little while before the gig just to settle their nerves, but I've never seen a drummer who could play better when they'd really been going at it. I've met musicians who didn't play noticeably differently after about 6 or 8 pints of beer, and coincidentally they all seem to be trumpet players and trombonists. That's obviously a cultural thing. So keep a quiet mind, no self-medicating, no alcohol, no drugs, and just visualize doing your best possible work. Sometimes the anxiety can just kind of leap out at you in the middle of a show, and I find I avoid that most effectively by remembering to breathe. And it sounds silly, but remember just to breathe normally. I did find myself a little while back getting into the habit of, if I had to play something difficult or read a particularly complex figure off a chart, I was subconsciously holding my breath, and that would give me lactic acid buildup in my muscles, which was a kind of very negative spiral, both in terms of how I felt and my ability to play to the best of my ability. So generally, I think just stay chilled, stay sober, and think about that feeling of adrenaline being your body giving you a message about what a great show you're going to have tonight.